Alright, what's going on, guys? It is your boy TKD123 here, back again with another video. And of course, here we have some more PlayStation 5 news. I'm sure you guys are very much well aware. If you have been on Twitter the last 12-15 hours, I'm sure you guys are very much well aware of all of this news that came out here. But I figured I'd just unpack it, let you all know my thoughts and opinions, and you can let me know in the comments below what you think about all this about PS5. And so this is courtesy, not this info directly, but this aggregate of all this cool info, about PS5 is courtesy of course, PlayStation Bros. Definitely seems like a good deal on Twitter. I've never talked to him personally, but seems like a very, very cool guy nonetheless. So appreciate you, homie. I will add you in this tweet when I upload this video. But beside the point, this is also linked down in the description. So if you want to look at the original article that I'm watching right here on screen, the link will be in the description. But of course, we had the original Wired.com PS5 details, the first news bits and the first true information from PS5 directly from Sony executive's mouth. It was actually Mark Cerny as well, the PS4 architect for the hardware of the PS4 back in 2013. He was back here talking about PS5, and we have some more news here about the PS5. So I say just get into it and we'll just go as the video goes. So we have a few got some tabs here I have going, but we'll start with the main one here, the main meat of the story here, and that is that PlayStation 5 is enhancing their relationships with third-party developers to ensure that PlayStation is still the best place to play in the future. And so obviously they are saying here, third-party developers, obviously third party is important to have games on your console without the need for a consistent flow of first-party games. And when first-party games are in between development, obviously third-party there to support it, duh. But what I think would be really cool here is that not only could they be enhancing that relationship with third-party developers, but hopefully third-party services as well. As we've seen, they're opening up their doors to EA Access. They're becoming a lot more lenient with crossplay, even though they have had a long-standing history with crossplay. I like how they are now taking it a little more up a notch and really beating the people's expectations when it comes to crossplay. So I feel like that could be a undertone in this statement that they are going to be enhancing third-party services as well, but that's not explicitly said. That's just my hope. I don't know. And of course, next up here, the PS5 will support physical copies, digital and streaming. Their aim is to give gamers the choice as to how they want to play their games. That, of course, is no secret here. We got that announced at the Wired.com interview that there will be physical and digital games and stuff like that, and all that good stuff, and streaming. And they are doing a big emphasis. This is what's changed from the Wired.com interview, is this very big emphasis on streaming, which we'll talk about here more in a little bit. Anywhere, anytime, without disconnections was the model used for Sony CEO. So this was a way that they wanted to kind of have PS5 in their initiative with PS5 to have that kind of mantra about that anywhere, anytime, without disconnections. And so that, I think, plays a lot with streaming, and we're gonna hear more about that later on that will add and double back to that same point. But let's keep it going here for a little bit. The PS5 will have drastically increased graphic rendering speeds, which of course we knew that from the CPU upgrades we knew about from the Wired.com review. I keep looking at the screen and not the camera, my bad. And also the SSD in the PS5, that's gonna of course do those fast rendering of graphics and stuff like that in game. Remote play will play a factor in the PS5 and in PlayStation gaming in general, resulting in gamers playing their games even if it's not on a PlayStation console. So that is a big thing here. They didn't talk about this at the Wired.com interview, this prospect of streaming, but it seems like they are really going to take remote play to a next level. And I know this is something that we've had remote play come up a lot in terms of PlayStation hardware, right? So, remote play started on the PS3, of course, with the PSP, and then when we got the Vita, we were thinking, okay, remote play is going to be fire, and then it wasn't that fire. And then we're like, okay, PS4 is coming out, they're talking about remote play, it's going to be fire. Wasn't that fire? It's good. It's good. If you have Vita, I have a Vita. I've used remote play probably twice. Honestly, I almost not over my ball, but probably twice. It's very rare I use remote play here and there, but it looks like they are really doubling down on remote play, and we can see that of course with them rolling out a remote play app for the iPhone, and I believe Android as of right now, but it could be just iOS, I'm not sure yet. But remote play is something that they are really going to be pushing, and I think that is how they are going to be able to have that mantra of anywhere, anytime without disconnections. With having remote play on iOS now, they are, I believe, looking at having remote play be one of the main factors of how people will game, as opposed to a traditional PS5 console that they have right now sitting at home. And so I think that can be really cool there. Sony showcased the power of the PS5 when compared to the PS4 Pro. Now this, we're gonna watch this here. So this is one of the videos that was talked about in the oh my god, what's it called? In the Wired.com interview. So I'm gonna blow this up right here real quick, guys, so you can see this is the next gen hardware, right? And he's gonna do the fast travel right there. It was 0.8 of a second, and then while the PS4 Pro is taking 8 seconds to do. Like, that is insane, but it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. Now, there's another thing that they point out here during the Wired.com review is that they were talking about how the reason why Spider-Man moves at the speed that he's moving in Marvel Spider-Man on the PS4 hardware is because the PS4 hardware cannot process that world fast enough. See how it's stopping and it's having to load the rest of the buildings because that's the speed of the hard drive and stuff like that. But now here with the SSD, you're going to see it's not going to stop. Spider-Man's going to move considerably faster on the PS4 Pro and just crazy, just not having to stop to render the actual world. It is insane. So that is the power of next gen right there. That's crazy, you know what I'm saying? But that was just a little taste of what they were talking about in the Wired.com interview, what we heard about but never saw. But that was it, clear as day. We saw it right there. So that's insane right there, honestly. That was probably the most impressive thing we've seen so far with PS5, because everything we're hearing is just talk, which is nice, but it was really cool to see. I keep looking at the screen, but it was nice to see that stuff actually be displayed on video. So that was really cool there. PlayStation Now will be strengthened with more major titles and improved performance, and aims to be a major part of the PS5. This is huge, right? This is another doubling down of streaming, and we're going to talk about streaming on the next bullet point as well, as you can see on screen here. But I think I'm excited for PS Now, right? I've been a PS Now subscriber since December, I believe. I played through, no, before that actually. I played Red Dead 1 through September of last year, and I thought it ran great. Obviously, your circumstances of your internet might be different to me, but I'm on the Ethernet cable, and I loved PS Now. It worked flawlessly for me. I lost connection, I think, twice in my entire Red Dead 1 playthrough, so definitely testament to how good that held up for me personally. But I think they are kind of saying here with this bullet point that we are going to be having PS Now as, of course, a competitor to Game Pass or to Google Stadia, you know what I'm saying? I know Game Pass isn't really game streaming, it's more just a really cool value to be able to download games and stuff like that. Or maybe, I guess, a better comparison would be xCloud. So I think there could be some really cool things here, guys. I don't know. I think, and plus how they're saying that they're going to be strengthening it with more major titles and improved performance, and it's to be a big part of PS5. I think we're going to have a lot more PlayStation exclusives that are pretty new onto PS Now. We'll see how that shapes up PS5, but I think that's what they're saying here with the PS5 era. So it's pretty cool to see that there. Streaming, cloud, and 5G technologies will help improve the PlayStation experience going forward. Interesting stuff here. Streaming, cloud, and 5G. This is again them I think doubling down on those services. I really think that they're going to double down on services. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that they are going to take PS Now to the next level and make it very serious. And streaming is going to be a lot bigger of a thing than we all could have anticipated. And obviously, there's still going to be the option to do physical and digital. You know what I'm saying? But streaming is going to be that third pillar of how you can interact with games and media overall on the PS5. I think it's a good thing. Obviously, the world is shifting towards a streaming future. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is very interesting. They're saying a lot of things here, and this is very telling of where they're going in terms of PS5. And last one here they have here is that backwards compatibility will help leverage users to the PS5 fast and seamlessly. Of course, it's a lot easier to now buy a PS5 day one because all your games on PS4 will work with PS5. You know what I'm saying? I'm planning on, oh wait, no, I can't even install my hard drives because it has an SSD in the PS5. I'll figure it out. I'm sure there's some data transfer thing, you know, that I can do this, you know, move my games over from the PS4 to the PS5. Pretty sure I'll do that. No worries there. I'm not worried about it. But then they had some pretty cool, you know, this is, again, they believe in the gamer choice where during the PS1 and PS2 era, we had, you know, the disc. With PS3, PS4, we had Blu-ray and download, and then PS5 next gen, we're gonna have Blu-ray, download, and streaming. So we're gonna have all those options to get gaming and stuff like that. And so this is them believing in obviously generations, stuff like that. And then their role, you know, this is just cool developer talk. If you want to read this down below in the description or right there, you can pause the video. But that was a video that we just watched over here. And what I found interesting here is what they haven't spoken yet in terms of next gen. So they've said the all new CPU, GPU, SSD, backwards compatibility, ray tracing, 8K disc support, 3D audio. But they have not spoken about that they seemingly want to speak about is the date, price, games, user experience, and the country rollout. Obviously, these are pretty stable things that you must talk about when it comes to a new hardware, a new generation, and stuff like that. But I think it's interesting to have the user experience. I don't know if they're meaning like the UI, how we had the PS4 menu trailer back at E3, or I think it was shortly after release and stuff like that. I think that's what they're talking about here about the user experience, like how you're going to actually interface with your PS5. And so this is interesting here about the critical role of the PS4. Let's just read these over and let me know what you guys think about this, okay? They say the critical role of the PS4 will remain the engine of engagement and profitability for the next 3 years, will provide the fertile early adopter gamer base critical for next gen success, and outstanding roster of exclusive AAA games still to come. So they are talking about the PS4 will be a profitable platform, they say, for the next 3 years, right? So if we're presuming that the PS5 is coming out next year in 2020, they want to seemingly support and view PS4 as a profitable platform until 2022, which is interesting to see that there, that like they are still going to, you know, stake and be like, hey, listen, PS4 still matters for the first part of the PS5 gen, and we saw that with PS3 and the PS4. We saw that transition. We saw a lot of games be released on both PS3 and PS4, so that's no surprise here. It will provide the fertile early adopter gamer base critical for next gen success. Obviously, if you buy PS4, you're most likely to get a PS5. So they are saying here that like they are going to use the PS4 base as a, you know, way to get people going with next gen. I like that. And then outstanding roster of AAA exclusives, games still to come. And so we have here in the picture, we have Last of Us Part 2, Death Stranding, and Ghost of Tsushima. So I think these, essentially what they're saying here is that these AAA games will be the kind of closed send-off to PS4. You know what I'm saying? Like these will help bolster the PS5, because obviously these will be playable on PS5. You know, so I think that's what they're going at here. And last here, just I guess these are just some more comments here. Oh, the two keywords for the future direction of PlayStation, what they said here as well. They said it's going to be immersive and seamless. And so next generation console immersive experience created by dramatically increased graphics, rendering speeds achieved through the deployments of further improved computational power and a customized ultra-fast broadband SSD. We knew that before. PlayStation streaming through the evolution of remote play and PlayStation Now provide a seamless game experience anytime, anywhere. Remote play turns PS4, which is expected to reach 100 million units in cumulative sales this calendar year, into a streaming server, providing streaming content at the closest point to users. PlayStation Now provides immersive game experiences to users regardless of whether they own the PS4 at all. And then the last one here, which is I think you know, kind of like the overall theme of PS5, Sony will pursue its mission to make PlayStation the best place to play by leveraging the latest computing, streaming, cloud, and 5G technologies together with excellent content. And so I think, oh, and then honestly, and then, you know, as we talked about previously, we talked about this on Save Slot, this whole thing about as a part of these efforts, Sony agreed to a memorandum of understanding with Microsoft to collaborate on the development of cloud solutions, including game streaming services. And so we talked about that on Save Slot, where Sony and Microsoft are kind of going to, you know, they are going to be kind of working together on this streaming venture on how to better stream games to their provided services and to their provided hardware for the customers to use. And so overall, what do you guys think of this, guys? Like, what do we think about this push again for remote play, this push again for streaming, and seemingly they're going to have PS Now be a major part of the PS5, as they say here, how they aim it to be a major part of the PS5. Interesting to see that there. To me, that sounds like, man, could we see exclusives day one be on PS Now? Like, could we see that? Like, could we see, what I would like to see is a tier of PlayStation network, you know what I'm saying, of the sorry, not network, of the PS Plus, right? I want to see a PS Plus tier where you get PS Now and PlayStation Network already, you know, PS Plus, that online play. I would love to see a version of that where you have I'm forgetting all services as well. PS Now lumped in with the PS Plus subscription, or maybe PS Plus, PS Now, and PlayStation View as well, perhaps, maybe, and that could be telling of their new, you know, PlayStation Productions push that we talked about on Cross Circle episode 38. 38, link below as well, or maybe 39, I forgot which episode. Whatever, the latest Cross Circle, we talked about that. And so this is just interesting, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you guys impressed by this? Do you guys like what you're seeing here? What do you guys make of all this? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. And make sure also, while you are down there, to check out the description where you can find our Discord and our Twitter. Follow us on those links. Thanks for watching, and as always, greatness awaits.